not talk over everybody, please.
It was
Okay,
the whole
everyone
time.
shut the fuck up, and I'm gonna start the intro when Ma'am says go.
I mean, I already hit record, so
Oh.
whenever you guys want to go.
Excellent.
Yo, what's going on, SBT? It's your boy Star. We got the mods up in voice chat right now. We got Beater.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're back. We back, baby.
We got Cheese. He's muted. We got Gene.
What's up?
We got Zombie. He's also muted. We got Mams.
What up? What up?
We got Stumbles.
I'm so happy to be here right now.
Okay. And we also got Tyler.
Hi, I'm Zombie.
Yep.
That's correct.
And today in this video, we're going to be going over the D-League Division mid-season. Mams, why don't you tell everybody what that is?
Alright guys, so we're looking at the D-League division for this first video. We're going to talk about all the coaches that are in here. So we're basically going to talk about D-League division and all the coaches in it. We're going to start at the bottom of the league, and that's going to be the Texas Toros. So what do you guys want to say about Nuzlocke King and his season so far?
Shoutouts to Meg Mortar for being his kill leader.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah, true.
There's not really a whole lot to say. 0-5, it's kind of 0-5, no matter how you get there. Like, you can't really point to, like, sometimes you can point to one result. Like, if you're 2-3, you can say, oh, but I could be 3-2. Because of one match, 0-5, the season's kind of...
I can point to a result. It's the team.
I mean, just looking at his team, first of all, you want to look at his synergy, right? He's got Mega Sceptile, and you know, I don't really see the synergy there. Like, he has Gastrodon, which is nice to, you know, take some water hits, but really his team isn't that weak to water, I'd say.
He also has 3 ground types.
He has 3 ground types, and then he does have Sand, which isn't a bad strategy if he can make that work in the late game. And then he has Mimikyu as well.
Like, Sand is great, but only thing his team has. There is not a single other good mon on there.
Yeah, and also sucks that, like, he's also really ground weak as well. Like, he's got Rotom Frost and Mega Sceptile.
But
So
yeah,
then he's got Excadrill weak, he's got Tentacruel weak, you know, Lucario, Dragology.
It feels like his team is very gimmicky, but a lot of the gimmicks kind of overlap. Like, Mimikyu and Zoroark are kind of pretty similar gimmicks, and his Sand team, I'm personally not a huge fan of Hippowdon being your Sand setter. I love Hippowdon as a standalone, but a lot of the Sand
about the
mons
Sand Center.
doesn't.
It's just like, Excadrill is the only thing that benefits from it, even remotely.
yeah. I will say though, like, it does seem like when he was planning his draft or when he was doing his draft, he was fearing like psychic types, because he does have the Zoroark, which is nice because he has the 2 poison types. He has Tentacruel and Dragology. So if he wants to kind of, like you said, make a gimmick and send in Zoroark disguised as Tentacruel in front of a psychic type, you know, that could work out for him. But his team otherwise isn't that weak to psychic. Like, I think he was trying to cover up some kind of weaknesses there. He has the Mimikyu, which of course can always like set up on a psychic type. So I don't know. It's an interesting team. Hasn't really been working for him. He does have the 4 free agents if he wants to make transactions still for the rest of the season. But 0-5, it's going to be really tough for him to continue his season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, still able to make playoffs.
Yeah, he kind of has to win out, to be honest, because
I think it's fair to say he absolutely has to win out.
Yeah, there's no other way.
My last note on his team is, like, if he had to change it, either he should switch to, like, full Sand, or maybe even just, like, find something outside of Sand. Because, like, his bulk is lackluster. And then, like, he has nothing to help out the Excadrill except for the Sand with the Hippowdon. So if he were to fix his team, he really needs to, like, I don't know, like some kind of pressure.
What I would suggest
or like something that can
is,
switch in.
I think you're right. I think he doesn't have enough wall breaking capability. He does have setup sweepers, but what I look for in a draft as well is like a good flying type, because a lot of teams are weak to flying
Yeah.
spam, and he doesn't have like a good Brave Bird user or anything like that. I don't know. It's something that I think he can take into consideration
Yeah.
maybe to improve his team, but
For sure.
I don't think, like, in terms of pivoting from Sand overall, I think keeping Hippowdon and dropping Excadrill for a flying type, and then maybe dropping off Road and Wash for Stoutland, because at least you're gonna get some benefit from the Sand,
this
but
is
you'll
true.
still have a flying type that's of high value. I'm trying to scroll through and see what's available, because you kind of imagine all of gets snatched up.
Honestly, I just don't see why Tentacruel is here. He already has a water and a poison type outside of it. Like, he could just drop that and get something to help out his team even further.
I think
That's
it's
true.
one of his only like hazard remove. Like he does have the Rotom and the Excadrill, but I guess he deemed Tentacle kind of nice to also get rid of hazards.
It's a tier 3, right?
Yeah, it's
You have
a
to
spinner.
take the L on the hazard sometimes. Like, if your hazard setter is making your team this much worse, just
Hell, if he
plus
wanted to.
you can pick up a spinner or a defogger that's a lot less kind of hand
I mean-
time.
Empoleon is open. Like, I think Empoleon's just strictly better.
They say if you drop like
Drop Excadrill, pick up
he would
Empoleon,
have
and something
3
else.
steel types, but you could keep Lucario and Empoleon, then just drop Excadrill for like a flying type in Thundo T, Thunderwire, or Salamence.
Mhm.
So here's the other thing is that he has the Dragalge, which is a nice wall breaker, but his speed tiers are kind of off a bit. If you notice, like he has his fastest spawns around the 90s and the 100s, and then it drops straight to like Hippowdon and Dragalge.
Well, he does have Mega Sceptile and the Sand
I was
Boost.
saying, like Sceptile and Sand is kind of his way around that.
Yeah, he has quite a bit of speed, but like, honestly, Pokemon that are like, like Greninja or like Torrentee, they kind of just go to town, get into room like Modest and stuff like that.
Yeah, because you're not even gonna try to outspeed Mega Sceptile when it's that fast.
Yeah,
right?
I think Tentacruel is base 100, isn't it?
It is,
yeah, it's base 100.
which most people don't run max speed, but he still can. He can run it offensive.
Really, say
but-
depends.
It doesn't
on-
even need max speed anymore with the Rapid Spin boost, so...
Yeah,
That's true, yeah. Okay, so without further ado, I think we can move up. Next up on the list is the Nassau. Is that how you pronounce it? Nassau Nidokings?
I think.
sure it is.
And
Sure, John.
John, yeah. So what do we have to say for John?
Looking
He
at
has
his
a
team
good
and looking at
team.
his record, like something's not adding up here.
Golbat is tied for his kill leader. It has his best record on all of his mons.
Yeah, it's interesting that Golbat is one of his kill leaders, especially when he has Tapu Koko. He has things like Gengar. He has a Digger's Bee, though.
there's read.
He needs something.
I
So
on paper, like I would like this team, but it just feels like something isn't adding up.
he has a lot of pivots, if I'm going to be honest. He has a lot of mons that can switch into things. I think what he needs is a lot of like power output.
I'd like another rocker.
Rocks would
Yeah,
be nice as well.
I'd agree there.
It's only rockers Druddigan.
Druddigan has it, and then he has spikes with Digger's Bee and
Webs with the Raconid.
webs with Arachnid. I mean,
Oh
the
my
Cryogonal is nice because it adds some speed and it adds spin and all that, but I don't actually see what else it's doing for him here. He already has.
I don't think he really needs a special wall because Shaman does that fine.
Yeah,
It's okay. to have the
Incineroar
cryo.
is always like a decent wall, especially as well from
so
so fast.
never gonna do anything wrong.
Diggers needs to go for a better breaker in tier 2.
I say
So much-
what I would probably see Diggersby and Druddigan go, replacing it with a tier 4 ground type and Haxorus.
Haxorus
That would
Like
immediate power
like
for them.
Mudsdale
oh,
and Haxorus.
that would be so nice for him.
because he doesn't
Mudsdale
always
and
want.
Haxorus instead.
He doesn't want always to bring Druddigon with rocks and have it be defensive, right? Like, there's other uses for it, but if that's its only purpose, like, it's better to just get an offensive dragon type.
Mhm.
Like I would love to see Mudsdale Haxorus right there.
Honestly, I think that like right there is amazing for him.
Otherwise, though, like, his cores aren't too bad. He has Araquanid, Incineroar, and Shaman, right? As his water, fire, grass. And then,
List, that's a whole lot of its own.
yeah. So.
Say, I feel like this team is one piece away, but
From
we
greatness.
like it feels like those pieces need to be there, or else everything falls apart.
It's true.
Like
And
he's a lot of special like offense. Like he's very specially offensive. Like Coco, Ryuni, like Shaman and Gengar. But then on like the physical side, like he has the Mega Caesar, sure. But like Mega Caesar and Sin?
so
I don't
that's not a bad core, but in my experience with using Scizor, it's always going to be put in that defensive kind of defogging
Yeah.
role. And it's nice if you can get a Sword Stance sub, but to be honest, a lot of people prep with a lot of fire coverage on every mon, so it's always
Mhm.
hard to set it up.
Because it's not like bulky enough to just chew a lot of like hidden power fire hits.
It can be,
Yeah.
but like again, it doesn't want to take those hits anyways. So,
Mhm.
but I think he can continue working on his team. Like he has 3 free agencies if he wants to use them, and he's 1-4. It's still mid-season. He could still recover. So
You got some of the hardest coach matchups out of the way early on.
Let's say,
exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
I could believe this team going on like a 6-1 tear to end the season and finishing 7-5, but like he does need to string some wins together if he wants to have a chance.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so let's move up to on number 10. We have Wolf, Brampton Ursarinx. He's also at 1-4, and a little bit of better differential than what John had. But let's look at his team as well. He has an Ursaring, not surprising,
Always.
and his team is
You
actually
gotta
very
respect
interesting. I don't ever really see this combination of mons. Like he has Colossal. I think he wanted to try out some of the new mons, which makes sense.
Mhm.
He has Rillaboom. He has double terrain with Pincurchin and Rillaboom. So that's
I don't know.
not
The
bad.
team's way too slow. It's just like the Gen 8 mons are cool, but
They're
not
very
fast
slow.
enough.
You're right. Yeah.
There's a very stark drop off between the good ones.
The
and the
price
bad
of
ones.
wanting to use the new toys is that all the new toys fucking suck.
Yeah, some of them are okay, but otherwise, like they're
Yeah.
slow. They don't have much. Like they don't get toxic. The other thing, and
Speaking of slow, look at his team. Look how
his team
slow it
is
is.
his team is
Yeah.
very slow. If he doesn't get up a Dragon Dance with either Gator or a Flygon, his team otherwise gets
It's-
hits below 100.
And does not have a Trick Room setter outside of Mr. Ryan.
Yeah,
Which,
it's like
Just don't bring that mon.
Like,
Otherwise, I
and his
think
priority isn't even that good. Like he's got Conk Mach.
he has
Jolteon
Mox
still
Punch.
available in this team? If
Um,
Jolteon is still available in this league, there is zero reason for that construction to stay over Jolteon.
I would agree, but he does have Quick Attack with that Ursaring. Just saying.
Oh,
And,
here you go.
All his free agents.
All right.
Actually, Flygon gets Quick Attack too, but
Yeah, it looks like Jolteon and Galvantula are available in D-League, so I would highly consider
Oh, his
picking up one of
FAs.
them.
yeah, he doesn't have
he
any more.
did.
So if he wants to
hell
if
did
he
he
wants
use
to
them on?
change up his team, he's gonna have to trade some for something else for other coaches.
What the hell did he drop?
What was it? I think he added Gator.
Yep, he dropped Bounce for Gator, Galarian Rapidash for Mr. Rhyme, Poltergeist for Galarian Weezing, and Starmie for Conk.
Yeah.
Ooh, he got rid of his Starmie. Starmie's was nice here.
Starmie would have
Actually, he
given
had
him
3
some
waters.
speed.
At that point, he would have had 3 waters.
Yeah.
He would have had waters out the
With electric terrain, no less.
Yeah.
So
I can't help but notice that his Toxapex is 0-1, and he's 1-4. Like, has he had that many bad matchups with Toxapex? They just didn't bring it?
And it's not like the church coming that often either. So it's not like electric terrain is creating a downfall situation.
Well, here's
Yeah,
the
like-
other thing is that his team isn't that like he has 4 weaknesses to ground, but he does have the Rillaboom, so that kind of adds some
Which has
synergy.
come every week.
Which yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I personally haven't used Rillaboom in draft at all, but it does seem like it's very good. Like it has U-turn, it has setup, right? So
Its drum beating is very useful, lowering his speed by 1.
yeah.
Yeah.
Potential. Obviously it's able to make playoffs, but
And like I think his team actually does have a lot of utility now that Conkeldurr has Defog now. Weezing actually has Defog as well, so it's not like he's that weak to hazards, but it's nice that he has spin on Mr. Rhyme too. Like, it's interesting.
It's gonna have to rely very heavily upon these conk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He, like, his wall breakers being Ursaring, Conkeldurr, Setup Gator. I think that's really it.
Yeah, and a lot of, like, he doesn't have a special attacking wall breaker. And
doesn't,
that's
yeah.
Not at all.
really
Mr. Rhyme
unfortunately
is right there.
I mean, like, Specs Flygon with Boom Burst though. And
Seen in Mr. Rhyme. Come on.
okay, so
Yeah.
you're right in that Prinkirchen isn't really helping him too much. It does give him like Toxic Spikes, but he already has that with Toxic Pex. And
Yeah.
And I think G Weezing gets it as well.
yeah,
I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm nearly positive it does. I just checked.
Electric Seed, Dragon Dance, Flygon.
you could do that. Could see
He's
that.
not good with the way it sets.
Couldn't,
That's
but he could.
Okay. Well, that's gonna be Wolf's team. I'm sure if there's a way Wolf can make playoffs, he's just gonna have to rely heavily on the fact that Conkeldurr and Rillaboom are gonna be his go-to breakers. Otherwise,
better team.
it's gonna be kind of tough
And-
for him.
so seemingly Ursaring as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's gonna be Wolf. I guess we can move up to the Charleston Gastrodons, and that's Paco, I believe.
Yes.
And he is another 1-4 coach, sitting at the
Section
bottom of the
for last one.
standings.
His team looks a lot better.
His team actually does have some, wall breaking capabilities with Mawile. He has Bulu, which it's not in this league, not in this season that he gets play rough, but he does get play rough now, which is good.
It's not useless totally anymore.
Exactly.
Correct.
Still sucks,
Right now,
but like
It is.
But he has a lot of speed with the Ninetales, the Latias, the Cobalion, so that's not too bad. He has some
So
things that
true.
work out for him.
Yeah.
I like.
The top half looks quite nice, and then you get down to Doug Trio, Alolan, Ninetales, and Venomoth.
well, I mean, he's gotten Fail with a Mega Maw. That's like pretty scary.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah, but
I'm curious why his Doug Trio hasn't Doug Trio is there as a trapper to make sure that he gets rid of things that are stopping his Mawile, I'm assuming, because
Doug Trio's there, Trapper, but you have a Bulu. You literally just can't even bring it.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Bulu kind of weakens Doug Trio's Earthquakes, Seismitoad's Earthquakes, anything with EQ.
he's brought Doug Trio every week, interestingly.
The Doug Trio
Yeah,
has to go.
Both Doug Trio and Seismitoad have been his every week mon.
And then I don't know if I don't know if Hail is actually helping him, but he does have the Aurora Veil to kind of with them too. But I think it kind of hurts him a little bit more than it helps him.
Yeah, same.
If I'm Paco, I drop Doug Trio, Ninetales, and maybe something else. Just pick up some other.
Yeah,
He has all of his free agents.
he still has all of his moves, and I don't think he needs all three of those fairy types. And Doug Trio really isn't. Like, it doesn't seem like it's
Veil
as
makes
big
sense.
as it
I didn't
is.
realize he had 3 fairies.
Well, you know what else is interesting is that he has 3 Mons that are 4 times weak to a move, I think. He has Moltres, Seismitoad, and Ninetales.
And Bulu.
And Bulu, so he has 4 Mons.
4.
Really just doesn't help him with anything but Maw.
Yeah.
I mean, everything else that wants to set up gets toxic.
Yeah, exactly. Like Venomoth.
I'm also having
Mhm.
a hard time understanding why Latias has only come either once or twice. That feels like it should be one of the main staples of the team.
I can understand sometimes he doesn't bring, like, because Latias still gets hardwalled by like certain dark types.
Yeah, I get why.
Yeah, but like still the speed tier is nice. Just so
Speed tier
like,
is very
4
nice.
times out of 5, but
I think it's his fastest
only
Mon
coming
too.
twice. The only coming twice feels.
Doug Trio is his fastest one.
Well,
Oh, Doug
okay.
Trio's there, yeah.
So it's Doug Trio, then
Then Latias, and then like
Cobalion,
a Alolan
I think.
Tails, then Cobalion.
Oh yeah, Alolan Tails
Yep.
faster. Yeah.
Which, to that point, between those 3 Mons, having successive speed tiers really doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't, yeah.
Like-
It doesn't help them in the sense that like they're
That-
kind of separated.
Alola Tails doesn't really have anything on speed 2.
Because things that are gonna outspeed Ninetales are also gonna outspeed Cobalion, and Latias only adds an extra point to Ninetales anyways. And so,
It's
but
the question of what does he replace it with?
exactly, because he still has the 4 free agents, and there's still an entire half a season to go. So if he wants, he can maybe switch it up. If he thinks his team isn't working for him, then obviously he needs to bring things that are more comfortable with him. Obviously, like his Moltres has been doing kind of well, 5 kills.
Yeah, 5-4.
So
It's just cool.
Honestly, if typing is his major concern, he can drop Dugtrio, Alola Tails, pick up Mamoswine, and still have a slot to play with.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And so I would probably get something else to kind of help his core out, because Umbreon is nice as a
Yeah.
Wish Passer, but
Honestly, I like a little bit more special offense. I
Same.
don't know, like
But
he has special
I don't know
attackers, but
how
nothing
much
that
it
like
is.
shouts, "Hey, I'm a really good special
Special
attacker."
breaker. Yeah,
Yeah,
special.
I mean-
say looking at what's available, there's like he'd have to make a lot of changes to really open that up.
Not
At least
necessarily.
I'm
Alola Tails for an actual special attacker in tier 2.
yeah, there's
well,
that.
yeah, but
Venomoth
how
is
many,
a nice
how many
setup
genuine
sweeper.
special attackers? How many genuine special attackers are left in tier 2? You could pick up Nihilego. You could pick up
Volcanion.
Volcanion, Xurkitree,
Kyurem.
Yeah, I get it.
Magnezone.
There were
I
certain
mean,
things
Kyurem
like,
is sitting right there, dude.
that kind of help him.
Trini.
See, the thing is that he did a good job at making sure that he doesn't get walled by steel types, because that's something that Mawile kind of struggles with, even though it does get fire coverage. Dugtrio can just trap the steel types, get rid of them, bring in Mawile, bring in, whatever you want, and then have your way with them. But it just doesn't seem like it's enough for him, especially since Dugtrio, it is very frail.
Yeah.
So,
This is true.
Team's got potential. I think a couple of FA moves would be beneficial.
yeah. Okay. Well, that's it for Paco. He does have those transactions. If he can try enough, maybe switch things up, he can maybe make playoffs. He's not in the worst standings. He's still, he's sitting at 9, so not too bad. But let's move up now to Tyler B and his Argentina Ampharos. Tyler B, he was in Season 2, I believe, or Season 3, and he's finally coming back for Season 5, so good to have him back. But he's sitting at 2 and 3 right now.
With better differential than the person above him.
Yeah, and he actually had a rocky start to the season, I think, but he's starting to find his niche now. And if you look at his team, he has some good synergy. He has a lot of good mons. He has Mega Venusaur, Keldeo, Raikou, Cinderace, Gudra, Togekiss. His team isn't bad at all by any means.
This is, out of all the ones that we've looked at, this is the one that I can easily see making it to playoffs.
Yeah, I would agree to that.
Same.
I also haven't really tested Reneragus, but apparently it's really good, and it's gotten him a lot of kills.
Yeah, it's one of those mons when put in the right positions, it can definitely be incredibly annoying. But if you do misplay it,
Reliable
you're
rocker.
just gonna have. Yeah.
It's a reliable rocker, yeah. I think his only rockers really are the Metagross and his Reneragus, to be honest.
But honestly, it's all you need. Right?
Yes, those are pretty good rockers anyway.
And then he does have Cinderace with Court, Court change.
Core change can be really annoying to fight.
That is very true.
Giving Source is broken this gen.
Yeah, I mean, because this is Cinderace again with Libero, right? So,
Yeah.
One of the best teams in D League. He just needs to get back on his feet.
exactly. I would agree.
Differential right for 3.
He's
-1
working
at insane.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not
I think-
doing too bad.
Well, actually, if you look at what he's been doing, he lost the first 3, but now he's on a 2-win streak. So
Mhm.
I think
it looks
Exactly.
like he's just back on his feet,
yeah,
like a bumpy start.
like
I
he was
can-
shaking off the rust in the first couple of weeks, and now he's coming back on.
For
The
sure.
I'm
Glaceon,
trying to see. I'm trying to see if those 2 FA moves he made. Nope, he made those early in the season.
Yeah, he made them week 1, I believe, and he dropped a Woolen Muck.
Yeah. Alamuck is something else for... Yeah, I have a transaction template.
He picked up Scrappy and
Raikou.
yeah. So
Good trades.
I like Raikou on this team.
yeah, I think he's doing well. The Licky obviously, it's nice to kind of Wish Pass, and he has Wish Pass with Glaceon too. Togekiss, I think Licky and Togekiss kind of perform the same role, but Togekiss a little bit better, just because.
Yeah, but it does give him some freedom to not have to bring Togekiss in a certain set.
Yeah,
Plus,
that's true.
with different weaknesses.
He also gets to be a cleric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Weaknesses,
Togekiss gets
you
a
can
heal
run
though.
different things.
Yeah,
Yes.
Togekiss does get healed though, yeah.
It does, okay.
Better cleric, but you don't want to have to run Togekiss as a cleric.
Yeah.
I don't know, why is Glaceon on that team though? Glaceon just isn't very good.
There's
Glaceon's
not-
there.
There probably weren't many. There aren't many other ice types you can go to in Tier 5.
Like a special ice type, just like Ninetales, is interesting. I think it gets Auroraville now. I'm not sure.
Got freeze dry.
It does get freeze
True.
dry, so
Freeze dry was huge for it.
it's not that bad. If you look at it, he does have a lot of mons that can kind of go. Never mind. I was only looking at Goodra. Goodra is nice because it can be mixed, but I don't think it's.
So
Venusaur and Keldeo can go mixed.
Yeah, they can go mixed
Yeah.
too.
AL can on a fucking technicality.
Yeah. Swords Dance.
You know it.
Overall, I think his team is like fine how it is. Maybe change Glaceon to something else. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I
like,
mean,
I think he can
I
make
get-
playoffs with this team.
What do you
I
think?
get why the Glaceon is there since Keldeo isn't really capable of being an ice type attacker, but
Yeah, he doesn't really have ice coverage, barring.
if you drop Glaceon, you probably have to switch out Keldeo as well. So
Team fine as
I get
is.
why.
Shit's able to go to playoffs with ease.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I
confident
think
in
that'll be
in him being able to. Like, honestly, I could just see him bringing. You know what he could need? He could just use some webs on this team. But otherwise, I think honestly he can just make playoffs with this team. I would just bring Banded Cinderace every week. But
Bandits are bulked up.
yeah. But yeah, that's Tyler B. I think we can move up in the standings to Psy and his Texas Toxtricities, who's 3-2 right now.
Yep.
And,
Which is not great, but
well, he did have we went 2-0 in the beginning of the season, and then he just lost 2, and then he's coming off a win, so that's not too bad. His team, it's decent, right? He has the Zardex. He has the
It's
Melmetal.
too physical.
You think it's just too physical?
Yeah, look, he's got his offensive pressure is Melmetal, Dracovish, Zard X, T-Tar.
And then Arctozolt is there, I guess.
Yeah, and then Arctozox also was go up, and Piloswine isn't no joke on offense. And
Yeah.
what's the special breaker? What, Espeon?
Yeah, he doesn't really have one of those.
Specs Espeon?
Rabombi
Wow.
Specs isn't too bad, but honestly,
There's also
But that thing
Rose
dies
is
to
up
like
there.
any physical, like any move.
like a bullet punch.
Like his breaker would be Espeon or Roserade.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that, and I don't think that's strong enough. I think he needs something special.
Well, maybe he thinks with the setup that he has, he kind of just wants to win with Zardex or Dracovish in the late game. But honestly, a special breaker is very nice because otherwise, you're not going to get past those bulky mons that can wall your physical threats, right? Like say you have a especially a defensive grass type that Dracovish can't break down. Which I think Dracovish can break down any grass type, but
Well, then he's got a Zardex.
and then he has his
Yeah.
Zardex, right? So
I'd say
not saying
offensively,
he's too
I'm okay
bad.
with his team, but you're asking a lot of Milotic to go be your soul wall.
Yeah.
it has to cover every week, every
Yeah.
switch in.
Luckily, he did get Milo for his own team to because going against Milo, look at his team. Going against it, I don't think he could ever break it. I think it just straight 6-0s him.
Yeah, if
so-
Roserade drops, and that's a huge
There's
problem.
that.
this
But-
is true. I mean, Abomasnow is there, and it's nice because
It's
it
just-
Veil now, right? It gets Aurora Veil.
Yeah, it does get Veil.
But again, like you have to rely on that, and then set up with Zard X, or maybe get a free switch into Dracovish, and then try
Bulky
to.
Waters are just annoying.
Yeah. Melmetal has been doing some work, but on his team it's only 2 and 3.
Vish and T-Tar are popping off for him.
Yeah. I mean, no surprise for Dracovish. Obviously, it's an excellent wall breaker. But again, I think he does have to rely on a lot of his. He has to rely on like melodic wall things, and maybe sometimes he brings like snow, hail and sand on his team, which is interesting. And
Bomb Snow's just okay this gen. Now they got Earth Power and Veil though.
yeah, Bomb Snow isn't too bad this generation.
It's like draftable at this point.
Yeah.
As a tier 5, it's like at least considered.
I would bring him over. I would draft him over Mega Bomb Snow at least, just because he's a bit faster. But
Team's decent enough, I think.
what do you think about his speed tiers though?
Terrible.
Yeah, he's like pretty slow, isn't he?
He has
Well, he's got he's got Ribombi, then 110 with Espeon,
and then after that,
then 100 with Zard.
Dread,
Yeah. Then like what, Dracovish?
then drop off.
yeah. I mean, again, that's not the worst thing in the world, but it's still.
I mean,
like,
speed tiers aren't like awful, and he has webs.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
overall, I could see him going to playoffs.
Yeah, it's not too bad, right? He has the Espeon as well for like Magic Bounce, but Espeon, like I find it's not the most reliable when it comes to Magic Bouncing, just because like very frail on the defensive side. But
Oh, here is one problem that I have with this team: his removal,
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
especially with the Zard X, dude.
Zard
I
X
say
is
you-
removable. Rabombi gets defog, if that's a thing.
Yeah,
But
but then
again,
that's Ribombi.
if your two things for removal are weak to rocks,
Bring boots.
Boot Rabombi and Boot Zardex. Yeah.
Boots Zard X.
Yeah, but like,
That's what the Espeon's probably there for, but again, like it's going to be too obvious that obviously, like, Espeon's going to be your means to switch into hazards all the time, and then he does have a grounded poison type with the Roserade, so that's not too bad because he can get
half
rid
of his team is weak to rocks.
yeah.
Ribombi, Snow, Zard, Pylo, and Arctozolt.
This is true, but
So I could see that being a problem for him.
I think he's made it work. Who's he lost to so far? His 2 losses.
Let's see.
I think it's
Schedule. He is who again? He's the
Texas
Toxicities.
Toxicities. So he's lost
Okay.
to Rozzy, I believe, and then he's lost to, and then he lost to Tyler B, with like heavy losses too, a 4-0 and a 5-0. So
Yeah, that kind of set him back quite far, but he's still got a better record than a few people.
exactly, yeah. So I think
He's not out of it.
I think right now he's just the middle of the row, but if he keeps going the way he is, he might be able to make playoffs. He just needs a better differential, honestly.
Yeah, so he's tied with 2 other people on like record. It's just differential he needs to work on.
Yeah, right. So from there, let's move on from Psy and let's go up to the Kentucky Fried Dragons, which I believe is Muse the best, or just call him Muse.
Yes. This is my personal favorite
Yeah.
player in D League.
Right. Why was that? Why is that? Can you explain?
So he has really good synergy on his team, including Pineco.
Mm-hmm. Pineco.
Can you
Yep.
explain why Pineco comes in for the synergy?
Because it's Pineco.
Pineco
that
is
seems reasonable.
yeah. Pineco's reasonable. Like you said, it does get spin, it does get hazards, it gets explosion.
Can't help
it
but
gets all
notice he has 2 losses and
Looks like it's
Pineco
screwed.
has 2 matches played.
But
interesting.
it also has a kill.
It does have a kill.
I did watch one of his matches, and it did take out 75% of a Mega Aggron and 75% of a Flygon, getting rocks and 3 layers of spikes up before it died.
It's terrible.
Pineco doing work. So
It put in all the work.
the interesting thing here is that he has the Oricorio, but otherwise he doesn't really have a good fire type. And that may or may not be like the best thing, but like if you run into a steel type, I think his answers for steel are
Megalade,
Gallade,
Gliscor.
and Gliscor.
They're
Right?
always an okay answer sometimes.
Okay, and then like Flare Blitz on G-Darm.
G-Darm, well, G-Darm is always going to be like breaking something, but
So not good though.
otherwise, like
It's just a monster prep.
Darmanitan is not good, by the way. It's like bottom half of tier 1.
I mean, I would find people that disagree with that, but like right now, he has 3 kills on his team, and then actually his
Great,
lower
too.
tier mons.
It's one of
have
those
more
mons
kills.
where when it's unleashed, it's a problem, but if you misplay it and try to go for the throat too early, it just kind of sits there as a dud.
So
Only
Okay.
required
Just looking at all 4 of the divisions really quick, I know it's a little off topic, but it's only a kill. It's only like on the kill leader, like a top 12 in only C League, and it's the number 1 in C League. But it's
Yeah.
not even top 12 in the others.
it has only gotten like 4 or 3 kills throughout the past couple weeks, but it's always good in the late game, right? Like if you get rid of all its answers, what's gonna switch into a Scarfed Arm?
Yeah, but early game, it's kind of just you're doing a 5v6, and then you have to hope that you can break down the rest of the team with 5 mons to bring it in. And if they just
Anyway,
bring
back to the
protect,
If you break every, resist to a cleaner's stabs, yeah, the cleaner's gonna clean.
yeah, that's true with almost everything.
Okay, but what do you
That's
think about
true in regular time.
the synergy with the rest of Mew's squad? Like he has the Slurpuff,
Oh yeah,
which I noticed like it has 4 kills, but it might be hard to kind of get going unless you get a belly drum off, because unless you break their steel types down.
he has a lot of hazards on his team.
You don't have to be belly drum Slurpuff.
You don't have to be, no. I mean,
You have more than enough offense.
Webs,
Just
Wish.
sometimes you might want to.
Like-
what are his like obvious cleaners in the late game though? You have G-Darm, Slurpuff, Gallade. Oh, Zeraora can be one there too.
I say Spexgren.
Yeah.
Spexgren's pretty good.
Spexgren is
Yeah,
one.
sweeper.
Blastoise,
Assuming you
Shell
hit your
Smash.
moves.
Shell Smash Blastoise is a cleaner.
Yeah, Shell Smash, Blastoise.
Oh yeah, I forgot we allowed that.
And yeah, like you are right, Star. He does have a lot of hazards. He has Ferrothorn, he has Gren, he has Slurpuff, he has Gliscor and Weezing, and Pineco.
And
Pineco's
Pineco.
there too. So he does have a lot of, but then again, hazards did get nerfed this season because of the heavy duty boots. So it's a thing
It
to
forces the other person to run boots more, which is less recovery.
This is
like-
true. Like it's also
The lefties and so on. And
so it's not too bad. He may be relying on stalling with hazards before he starts breaking down his opponent's team, which isn't a bad way to go
Yeah.
around it.
I'm only capable of doing it with this team.
I just wish he had a little bit more special attack. Like, okay,
I'd agree to
his
that.
2 best special attackers are both water types.
Yep.
It can be special. You just
Zera can be,
I
but
mean,
I mean,
Oricorio is a thing, but
Zera not running Plasma Fist is kind of whack.
it depends on the matchup. But yeah, most of the time, like Zeraora can just run physical, and now that it gets player off, it actually does a lot more, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I can see this team going to playoffs.
it's already in playoff contention, which is good because of his differential.
Mhm.
If he keeps it up, I think he can make it work, and he does have the 4 free agents to kind of fall back on just in case he he feels like he doesn't need certain mons on his squad.
He's on quite the win streak as well.
I would agree with that.
He's got a 3 win streak. He lost his first 2 games, but then he's on his win streak going up.
He's picking it back up, yeah. And Gallade is just the number 1 kill leader right now, so I mean,
Yeah,
not
it's
in D League, but like just overall.
No. B League it is.
Yeah.
Zombie.
Blade is extremely good.
Okay, all right. So let's move up to our number 5, and we have the Oregon
Mhm.
Golducks, and I believe that's Ballistic, right?
I believe so.
Think so.
So
It is indeed.
you look at his team. His team
Slow.
is pretty.
Yeah, that's too slow.
It's interesting because he has the H
He has
slash.
he has the best electric type.
I-
Aegis Slash Hydreigon, which is perfect synergy.
Aegis slash Hydreigon
Yup.
again, and you pack that on to Slowbro, Mega Slowbro, and that's not a bad core, honestly.
Yeah, I like this team a lot, actually.
I did too.
I've never really used Alcremie before, so I'm not sure. I'm guessing it just performs like a.
It's offensive more than Clericy.
Yeah, it kind of just clicks Calm Mind, I think. Calm Mind, Degleam.
Yeah.
so it's just
Recover.
the cleric fairy type kind of mon.
It's kind of just like bad Clefable,
Ah,
Yeah.
Okay.
but without rocks.
So I do like his cores, but to be fair, the one thing I think he's missing is like some bulk. He does have Tangrowth and Age Slash there.
Avalugg.
I mean, Slowbro is a thing too, right? But
Special bulk is what I say special bulk. Like he's got Avalugg and Tangrowth. Those two are insane physically bulky.
yeah.
Bro.
I
So
mean, but then on the special, he's got Slowbro and Aegislash, so
Slowbro
I
before
can't even say
Mega,
it's bad.
Special switch in.
Slowbro
It's Slowbro
before
now.
Mega is nice with the regen core with Tangrowth, right?
I think special attackers are definitely an issue, though. Like,
Yeah. Special attack, like special fairies for one thing, are kind of tough for him, but he has the Salazzle and the Aegis Slash.
they're both weak to ground, you know? Diancie, Mega Diancie.
Mega Diancie. Well, it's
Oh,
always hard to
shit.
find a Mega Diancie switch in, but you know, it's
Anything with fairy and ground.
Fairy's
cover,
just broken.
destroy this.
and like Salazzle, if it's like it's 4 times resist fairy, but it's just kind of frail and doesn't have any recovery.
Quad beat to ground.
Otherwise, you know, he's been doing well. He has a 3-2 record, and
I could definitely see this going all the way.
he has a lot of removal. It looks like he has well, not really.
Well, he's got. I think Arrow can defog.
Arrow
got
defogs, Hydra,
Landry.
More Pico spin.
Lando, Avalugg.
Mm,
Does more Pico get Rat Spin?
no.
No.
Was it?
No, I swear
I
it
don't think
does.
so. I feel like,
I feel like
Yeah,
with
hold
its,
up.
the fact that his
Maybe.
signature
It
move
does indeed,
spins-
sir.
okay, I was wrong.
Alright, not bad, not
Yep.
bad.
It can really boost its speed.
I
Mhm.
was gonna say, it has so many other means of boosting speed that you can really think about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Aura
yeah.
Wheel.
That's it. And so Landorus I on his team isn't Sheer Force, by the way, guys. It's only the other one, Sand Rush or Sand Force, sorry.
Sandforce.
Sandforce.
So
Which kind of sucks.
when it comes to his wall breaking capability, he does have certain things like Hydreigon and Landorus, and I guess Banded Simeon is also a threat if you know, if you get any kind of momentum with that thing.
Honestly, I just don't think I like Landorus at all. Like, Hidden Power Ice, just like us, like Ice Beam, is pretty good against him. Like, sure, he has an Aegis Slash, and like Slowbro does resist it, but still.
Yeah, Aegis Slash hasn't been doing too well in this season. Like it does have 4 kills on his squad, but it also has 4 deaths, and so really you would want Aegis Slash to sweep in the late game, but
Yeah.
I just don't think I think people over prep for it.
I to say that point is true, but in fairness, I'm looking through tier 2 right now, and the ground types available don't really fit his team all that much better.
Team.
There's-
Like,
Yeah.
the only thing I could maybe see is if what team was it we were talking about with the Diggersby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
John.
John
Yeah, I
has it,
could
yeah.
maybe see John and Ballistic swapping Diggersby and Lando I. I think
That would give-
both teams would probably benefit from that.
That wouldn't be too bad. Because obviously
Right.
John has like Mega Scizor, which resists ice, and
Yeah.
and you know, Ballistic would benefit from a Diggersby because it wall breaking capabilities priority.
And gives him spikes.
Gives them spikes, yeah. Otherwise, Ballistic's hazards are kind of limited to what? Aerodactyl, Landorus,
I think that's it.
that's it?
Yeah.
Well, well, he has 40 extra points that he could also just invest into some other mons, but he has 4 free agents that if he wants to use. I think he's very comfortable with his team right now. I don't know what his losses are. I think he lost to.
I could check.
Anyway, someone check that.
What weeks did he lose?
So he lost. He actually lost week 5, and I think he lost week 3.
Week 5,
No,
he
he-
lost to Mew. Like Mew's the best.
Okay, and so week 2 he lost as well.
He could not break the score.
Yeah, and then week
yeah.
2 he lost to.
He lost to the side.
No, week 2 he won.
No,
Yeah.
week 2.
Yeah, he won week 2.
Oh yeah, no, my bad. Yeah,
If we go to standings, it says he lost
he
week
lost to
3.
Nathan. He lost to Nathan. Yeah.
Nathan week 3, yeah.
So
To be fair, most everyone has.
yeah, most people have lost to Nathan, but
Most.
obviously those are players that are in the top half of the division right now, so that's not too bad. But he needs to start working on his plans. If he plans to make playoffs, he needs to figure out how he wants to get around those 2 players.
Yeah, and
I think for sure
Trying-
he might make playoffs with his current standings. So
I could see it.
yeah, I think he's in a pretty good spot. I'm just trying to see who are the teams that he beat. Because if he beat some of
the lower teams, yeah,
let's say if he picked off some of the lower teams, then he's gonna have kind of the tough gauntlet of a schedule coming up.
yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
he's
Hold
beat,
up.
He's 6-0 Paco.
and he
Yeah.
4-0'd Nuzlocke
say-
King.
between his 3 wins, there are those 3 teams have a collective 2 wins. So he's gonna have the gauntlet of a schedule coming up soon.
Yeah,
That is true. So
the
we'll
rest of
see
the
if he can
season
persevere
is going to
through
be
it.
tough for sure.
So,
He's going to have some of the higher ranked coaches to face.
yep.
Okay, so let's move up then. Talk about our top 4 here. We have the All Asian Alamomolas and Major Comeback,
Mhm.
and he's 4-1.
He's got a good
So-
team.
Okay, I really do like this team.
He's not doing too bad either. He's got Necrozma, he's got Megalop, Suicune, Garchomp
Garchomp.
even,
Mhm.
Rotom Heat, which is, I think Rotom Heat has been bumped up. Like, he's got
I didn't
10
see
kills with that thing and just
Just
making
makes-
it work.
People just aren't prepping for it because like Nasty Plot and like
Understandably,
is
Yeah.
nuts. Like that hits hard as
Same.
hell.
Mhm.
between Lopunny Mega, Necrozma, Suicune, and Garchomp, and Florges setup,
He has a
you
lot
don't
of-
really think about a Rotom Heat coming in.
Bro,
And
it's such good like mixture of offense on like the special and physical side. Like
So-
Necrozma can be mixed, but the Suicune special for Florges.
on
But
top
then
of
like
that,
he's got physical Lopunny and physical Garchomp.
yeah. On top of that, I think his synergy makes it so that he's not really weak to any one typing. Like you look at the fact that like he might be weak to water with Rotom, but he has the Cradily, which has the Storm Drain, and he has things
Yep.
like Suicune. He has Florges that can soak up any kind of like special hit either. Necrozma kind of eats hits for days. Silval, if he wants to bring like a certain typing on that, you have to kind of as well. And I don't really see any major weaknesses here from him. Like he might have, I can't even tell. Like a ghost weakness maybe, but then he has the Mega Lop. So
I would say flying is his biggest weakness. He doesn't like
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
have the greatest straight switch-ins to it, but like he doesn't auto lose to it.
He can work around it, but it's
Solid
gonna be
Rock
a
is always
little bit
clean.
of an issue.
Yeah,
'cause
but like he has no like solid resist. I think Rotom Heat
Rotom is his resist, and
and then a Silvalio.
and then he has a lot of
So
bulk
it's-
on everything else too. Like he has Garchomp, he has Suicune, he has Florges, he has Necrozma. So
Mhm.
I think his style of play looks like he's just very bulky offensive, and I think he likes to win with his setup in the late game. Obviously, you see the Rotom Heat has enough kills. Surprisingly, Necrozma with all the setup that he got this season, this generation and last generation, he hasn't got any kills, but it's still a big
Doesn't-
threat.
It also doesn't look like he's come that often.
Yeah, oh what?
He might not have needed it for too many matchups, but I think Major Comeback's only loss is to Nathan right now, and
Mhm.
I mean he's one of the top players in the division right now. So, if you look at the rest of his season, it kind of looks like.
I think he still has a behemoth to fight.
Actually, I'm wrong. I think he hasn't faced Nathan yet. His loss to.
What week did he lose?
I think
He lost this most recent week, actually. He just lost.
He just lost.
Week
So-
5. So he lost.
he lost to Aaron. That's what it was.
No, he lost to Mew.
No, all Asian Alamo.
Oh wait, no, I'm looking at Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he lost to Aaron.
Lost
Which,
to-
yeah, he's,
Yeah, Aaron.
Aaron.
I believe Aaron is actually at the top at the moment.
He's at the top, yeah. So, actually, he's playing Nathan this coming week, which is interesting.
That'll be a good match.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
by
could
the
be a
time
fun
this
one.
vid comes out, he probably already faced him, but that's going to be a good match
second
for sure.
seed.
But I think he's definitely one of the stronger coaches in the division, and I think he probably ends up making playoffs. So he just needs to keep it up. And on top of that, if he still finds anything wrong with his team, he has those 4 transactions he can make, and 60 extra points as well. So.
Yep. Lots of options.
All right, so then let's move up to the number 3 coach. We have Rozzy, which I believe, Gene is banking on him to make playoffs, but it's his first. It's 2 spoons, 1 Alakazam, Rozzy, 4-1 and plus 11 differential. He's been doing well. I don't know who he lost to, but
I can check. Must be 2.
Lost to a major.
oh, he lost.
Yeah.
So he lost to the coach we were just talking about.
He got 4-0'd.
He got 4-0'd. But then he went on a streak. He's still on a winning streak, and he actually faces the Oregon Golducks this week. So that's going to be an interesting match for sure, since Ballistic is 3-2. But if you look at Rozzy's team, what do you guys think about it?
I love its hazards.
Yeah,
Solid.
Even if the hazards are only Lando T and Terrakion, dude, but Lando T can carry hazards a lot of the time. Oh, and Claydol, sorry.
yeah, and he has Magic Bounce with Sableye, so
Magic Bounce Sableye.
Some track.
Yeah.
Rocks.
Looks like his Landers is killing it, though, offensively.
So, Landorus and Volcarona have been a
Looks like
big
he's-
part of his offense, which makes sense.
His
What I-
ball can-
are we
I
going to
mean,
talk
Angel-
about the fact that he has Obstagoon too?
Dude, the Goon is actually not bad.
It's
okay?
not bad at all. Like Guts. And
Yeah.
Guts boosted, like, Facade plus... it's a stab. Guts booster Facade hits so incredibly hard.
I
He's
don't-
going 2-3 next
It-
season.
If
I-
that
And
thing
it's
got...
faster. It's faster than most people realize. than
It's like, what, 95?
Mhm.
If
I
that thing got
actually-
E-Speed or
So-
Sucker...
I actually like the synergy between Obstagoon and Amoonguss, and like Sableye as well, because Obstagoon obviously, what's it called? He's 4 times weak to fighting, and then Sableye's a thing. But
I just don't like the sharing of the fairy weakness between those two, but then again, he does have the Amoonguss
he
can
has
stick
the
him in.
Amoonguss, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like the... And then he also has Volcarona if he really needs to.
Yeah.
Which has
Yeah,
been
it's a
doing well.
worst
7-4,
case scenario.
right?
7-4 is pretty good. And 6-1 on his Lando.
Yeah, that's even better. Like Landorus, people who can use Landorus obviously know how to use like really top tier mons, but Volcarona being one of his heavy breakers, Terrakion, I think obviously that's one of his bigger threats on his team, and then Delmise I think actually got buffed this generation. Well, I mean Rapid Spin was
Did it?
boosting his speed, but
Oh.
his removal being
got-
what? Delmise.
It got something
Tomato.
this generation. It got something this generation.
It's
I forget.
spin.
Landorus.
He's got 2 spinners, Sableye for bounce, Defog Lando.
Yeah, because again, just bring
And
heavy
Defog Volk, I
you
guess.
can just bring heavy duty boots, heavy duty boots Volcarona, right? And then just kind of sweep from there.
The big thing for Delmise is getting things like liquidation, the buff of Rapid Spin, and Iron Head.
Why did Delmise get liquidation? That's
Oh,
just-
and Gyro.
Is it because he's an anchor and like anchors go in the water? Is that why he got liquidation?
I think that's exactly it.
Okay.
It's funny. No, and it's like ability boosted steal moves.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I really like Roz's team, and he's only lost once. So
The only thing I don't like is maybe speed. Like, I mean, Bolton is obviously there to be fast. Like,
Yeah.
Bolton very strong.
like Bolton is another Zeb striker in my opinion, but Bolton does have the strong jaws, right? So
It's got strong jaw, but no Thunderfang.
it doesn't have Thunderfang.
No.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yes,
sound right.
Thunderfang. It does get Thunderfang.
It's like black's okay.
Yes.
I was gonna
Bro,
say
I checked it out. Like, I drafted this thing. I didn't.
Actually, it does
Yeah.
not get Thunderfang.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, it only gets Wild Charge.
what? No, it
Just
does.
look
It
it
does
up.
get Thunderfang.
Yeah, it does get Thunderfang.
It does get
That's why I
Thunderfang.
do
Is it in the useless? Oh, it's in the
It's just
usually
not
useless.
on the. It's just not the useful move.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
that
just
makes more
not-
sense.
Yeah, exactly. Wild charge is probably stronger, right?
Yeah, just no missing either. Okay.
So, it's not too bad, and it gives him some momentum on his team as well. I think he's kind of lacking that, but otherwise, it's not too, like, his, he has his Clerics in Gardevoir, he has Vaporeon, which obviously can perform really well alongside Volcarona, and then Delmise, which obviously can go Assault Vest, and he can just spin away some hazards as well, but I do like
He
his...
has.
I do like his wall-breaking capabilities with
Fun
Terrakion
fact:
and Landers.
Thunderfang is more powerful than Wild Charge on this thing.
Oh, is it?
I
With Strong
assume so.
Jaws?
Yep. 'cause
Strong Jaws stab.
Strong Jaws brings it up to roughly 97 base power, and then Wild Charge is 90.
Oh, okay.
So why it's a usually useless move, I'm not sure.
That's interesting.
Okay. One thing I do really like about his team is that, like, so two of his bulkier mons, like Delmise and Mungus, they're both grass types, obviously, and they're both weak to, like, flying and fire.
Yeah.
But then, like, he has good switch-ins for that. Like, he's got water switch-ins, or not water, fire switch-in with, like, Vaporeon, maybe Terrakion, like, flying switch-in, Lando,
He's also
maybe.
got a Mega Sableye.
Yeah, Omega Sableye all day. I like his synergy.
I think he just has bulk in general. So, like, even if he's weak to certain things, he can always just bulk it out with either Sableye or maybe even a Mungus. And Landorus is obviously, he can be defensive on both sides, so... But not bad team at all.
I can see him going the full way.
Yeah. So I think we can move up to number 2, and it's gonna be our Charlotte Chimchars and Nathan.
Nathan.
And he's been killing it at 4-1 with plus 13 differential. He had the first overall draft pick, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And he
Either Dragapult or Torrentee, one of the two.
Dragapult. Torrentee was left in free agents.
Okay, then Dragapult.
wow, leaving
Yeah.
Torrentee
Oh.
in free agents.
He got Torrentee in free agents somehow between it and Dragapult, 2 kills, 3 deaths.
That's interesting. Oh, yeah, Dragapult having one kill and then 1 death. Is that it?
Yeah. But then because
Other mons have been doing so well, it just
Just
has.
say, his tier 3s have been putting in overtime. with
He's
Slowking
Corviknight.
and Corviknight.
Corviknight is
Corv-
10-1. That's insane.
yeah, and then Slowking is 8-1. That's nuts.
Yeah, Slowking is. I'm
Corviknight,
surprised. Like Serp, Torn, Diancie, all these strong mons, and he's just been killing it with his bulky mons.
Yeah, I mean, aren't prepping for it because they're so scared of all the massive threats that he has.
Yeah.
or-
Like Glare.
Because he ends up bringing things like a really bulky type null, with possibly setup, and that thing is hard to kill if it has like, enough momentum.
For it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's brought Persian at all, but it's also a nice speed tier to add on to his team. His speed is really good. I think he has.
He's got a really good like fast team.
Yeah.
Say it's just ridiculous.
And at the same time, he has a nice regen core, right, with Torn and Slowking. I don't know what the Articuno is doing there, but like people say Articuno is a lot better now because of the heavy duty boots.
Oh, it definitely is a good buff.
For now, like you actually have to look at Articuno and think kind of.
Say you have to recognize it at least, but
Yeah.
it still can be pretty easily.
It's bulky, right? So it's not like
Yeah.
it's the worst.
It's like a pressure stall poke.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
it's like a lesser Zapdos in a way.
Yeah, it's good if you're going up against a special water type. It's a very good
Just
kind of
hardballs.
Yeah, exactly.
jam.
125 special defense is like nuts, and then it's still 100 defense with 90 HP. That's like pretty damn bulky.
Yeah.
Just make it usable.
And it's got reliable recovery.
It has removal and defog, and I think it for the most part. I don't know if
Like
Nathan's brought defog on Corviknight, but he's been using Corviknight as like it's like a setup sweeper.
That's what I assume. I don't think like Choice Band or Scarf really goes.
It's
in
been
like
just spamming bulk up and all of
Yeah,
this.
bulk up
Yeah.
body press, Brave Bird,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Makes
So-
sense.
Very good team, obviously one of the better teams, in my opinion, in D-League. And it shows, like Nathan's been putting in a lot of work with it. His hazards, I think they can be a little bit more. Like he only has really Nidoqueen and Deancey, right? Oh,
Nido-
Ape
or
gets
Infernape.
rocks, yeah.
Yeah, Infernape gets get rocks.
But otherwise, I think
Like,
he knows that like hazards aren't that too big of a deal anymore because of people running heavy duty boots, but they still are nice to pressure the opponent to perhaps like defog and whatnot, and then of course like he can just bring in his setup sweepers in the late game and just win. But I would like to see him use Dragapult a little bit more, just because
It's disgusting.
I think that thing can actually just win a lot of the time on its own in the late game, just because of how fast he is. At 143 was it?
I think it's 143.
143.
But
Very good one.
yeah,
Mon's
but
very fast.
I think he knows what he's doing.
Fast
I
and
think
hits hard.
I think Nathan's gonna rise with the rest of his schedule. I don't know how the rest of his schedule looks, but I know he's he's playing major comeback this week.
I think Major's like one of his hardest matches left.
Yeah.
Because he has one loss, and that is Aaron.
Yeah, he's only lost to the top team right now, and I think just looking at the rest of his schedule, actually, it looks like he's facing a lot of the lower
He's
teams.
gotten the hard part of his schedule out.
So he's already gotten through the hard part. So he's definitely gonna make playoffs for sure. I don't think there's even a question that he makes playoffs.
Fine with the Apes.
The only thing I don't like about his team is the electric weakness. Honestly, it doesn't even matter.
Matter. I can literally.
Yeah,
Many flow.
it really does.
Like- Crazy team.
Very nice team. But let's move up to our final coach, and that's Aaron and his Roman Folions.
His team is disgusting.
His team, if you look at it,
Oh my god.
It's disgusting. There's
How
a
did you get Teeny
Celesteela,
on
there's
that?
a Sylveon, there's a Corsola Galar, there's a
People
Sharpedo Mega,
don't think
there's a
Victini
Victini,
is good.
there's a Zygarde 50.
yeah, it's pretty gross.
I don't know how you get
Um,
Celesteela Teeny.
I don't even think he needed the Zebstrika. I think he just got it because he could. The Muck is interesting, but honestly, with him having Zygarde, Victini, Celesteela,
It
Sylveon,
doesn't even matter.
Mega
His team's so
Shark.
slow, but like,
Slow?
Yeah, but Sharpedo can quickly up its speed, Zygarde
Yeah.
can quickly up its speed,
yeah, but that, I mean, like,
Bulky.
Ditto can pick
Ser-
off
it's
fast
Serena-
ones.
Serena can rapid spin and boost its speed.
Yep.
hey, yo, G Corsola though?
Larian Corsola.
Does G Corsola learn Trick Room?
I don't know.
Let me see. I'll check it right now.
I mean, if it could, I don't know if he needs it too much because his team
It does not.
No, it doesn't.
Like, his team isn't that slow to kind of abuse Trick Room, but at the same time, like,
Very matchup with him.
I would say, like, it would have been interesting to see, like, you might see a room service Celesteela down the
that
But
would be
you can't
interesting.
I love Victini and Trick Room sometimes, just because V-Create.
V-Create lowers it, yeah. Obviously, it makes it so that Victini can't run, things like, like Scarf. Obviously, if he wants to run a Choice Scarf on Victini, he can, but I think for the most part, he just wants to win with that Zygarde and Mega Shark, which he seems to be doing well with those two.
And Celesteela is also doing well at
Let's
6'2".
say it's basically Celesteela is going to slowly break things down. Victini will quickly break things down, and then
fast.
Victini breaks things down, Celestial slowly breaks things down, and then Sharpedo and Zygarde can then clean up.
Basically, I think those are the 6 that he just ends up bringing the entire season. Otherwise, he can bring Sylveon for Clerics. He can bring Sock if he, I don't know. His lower tiers.
If he wants to mess around.
Yeah, his lower tiers. I don't think he really needs to even bring them that much. Like,
honestly, I think it's the same 6 that are coming.
Yeah.
Mega Sharpedo, Victini, Zygarde, Filler.
Things.
Like Ditto, just in case. Obvious.
Ditto has new game.
Yeah.
Or at least it hasn't done anything.
It has
probably G-Corsola.
Yeah. I mean, like, he doesn't really need his lower tiers to do much when they can just support his higher tiers, right?
People just don't realize G-Corsola just loses if you click taunt.
Or sub, but...
Yeah, if you sub up, like, being a special attacker, you just don't...
It does get Nightshade and stuff, but honestly, it's...
it gets Nightshade, but then, like, still...
Mon sucks.
I don't think I think the Mon's, like, overhyped.
It's overhyped.
If you get the right matchup, it's incredible.
That's like, but you can say that for a lot of Mons. You can say that for Mimikyu.
It's a mediocre tier 3.
Yeah, I would say it's not.
I think it's definitely a tier 3 Pokemon, but like I don't think it's a must grab.
In my opinion, it's things like an Umbreon. Like Umbreon is obviously very fat and it can synergize well with other Mons, but it's not going to be winning you games. It's just going to be there to kind of like bulk out some hits, right?
Yeah.
I beg to differ. it wins me games all the time.
Umbreon's generally a better Mon, but Corsola has its uses.
I'm not saying the Mon is like awful, but I just don't think it's like a very good Mon.
I'm gonna have to announce the fact that Aaron, he made A-League in season 4, I believe, or season 3, but he was kind of dropped, and now he's back and he's in D-League, and I think that he's wrecking it. He's gonna make his way up to A-League pretty quickly.
He's an A-League caliber battler.
I'm gonna drop his ass again.
We're just gonna drop him, and he's gonna have to climb back up again. But he's been doing well.
Very funny, so
that's the last coach, and I think we talked about all we needed to, right?
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Star, I think we can wrap this up. Do you wanna outro it out?
Sure, let's do it. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching
Everybody like this
SBT.
video.
What?
Everybody like and subscribe, and obviously stay tuned for our C-League division power rankings. Take it away, Star.
Yeah guys, thank you so much for watching. Especially Tyler for being a great host of the entire league, Mams for recording this for us, and yeah, stay tuned. Catch you guys later.